there are different built-in objects in JavaScript that you can use in your project or code to achieve a desired result. So some of these built-in objects are very common and practical that can be used in day-to-day activities for a prominent developer or for someone who needs to work in the language a lot. So a variable in a JavaScript can either be a primitive type or an object type. And object type can hold many different object types. Now, talking specifically about JavaScript objects. JavaScript objects represent complex data structures and functionalities beyond the primitive data types like string, number, boolean, none, undefined, symbol, and big int, all which are the primitive data types. So beyond that, objects represent complex data structures and functionalities. Now, objects in JavaScript are written with curly braces and open and close curly braces. JavaScript object contains a collection of different properties. So you can have different properties inside an object. For example, you can have a person's first name, last name, age, country, location, their biodata, and a lot of other information like that. So which gives it the ability to contain a collection of different properties. Object property are written as name value pairs separated by comma. So when you are adding properties to an object, it's normally in the format of a name value pairs, which are always separated by commas. So this is how JavaScript object handles property in JavaScript. So let's look at examples of some of the object types that we have in JavaScript in the code editor. So I'll take this out. I'm talking about JavaScript objects. JavaScript objects. So now, an example of an object is this in JavaScript. So an object always have an opening and closing curly braces. So a closing, an opening and a closing curly braces. And inside it is where you can now add your property. So you can decide to put everything on a single row or break it for legibility and readability. For example, I can decide to say first name of a person is Steve. And then we put a comma to separate it and put last name. As Cook. Separate with a comma. So you can put age. I said this person is 45 years. Don't forget that age is a number, so it does not need quotes around it. So you can put maybe country. US. So you can put nationality, just something like that, and say American. Now states, Atlanta. And then this is optional even without the semicolon. Your object is ready as it is. Now you can see that inside this object there are different properties. There's string as the dominant properties, and also we have number, as you can see, and sometimes you can even have something like maybe another object inside an object. For example, look at this. You can see that this is an array that I just added inside the object, which gives it that capability to hold different properties. So this is what makes our object very, very useful and important part of JavaScript programming language. So this is it. Also, Another example of built-in object is the array object. So, you can have an array this way and say cars, and then you just give it different properties. So this is an array and this is an array object in JavaScript. If you output this now, you can see it. So that is an array object and how it looks like when declaring it in JavaScript. And also we have date object. It's the new date constructor. You can use it to make new dates. You can pass value and you may not pass value. But if you look at this right now, look at this. If I try to get this out as what it is, so it will give me the current date. You can see this. So this is another object in JavaScript, the date object. So don't forget that a JavaScript object can hold different property as you just display now. And if I bring this back, what I had earlier. So if I add this now, I can access any property that I want from this. You get it? So I can say, okay, I want a person age, person dot age, and then this will give me results. I can say I want this person's bio, software developer. I can say I want this person's skills. You can see the way I'm accessing skill. And if I want a specific skill, I can say give me the one at the index position of 1. You can see it fetched Python as a skill in the index position of 1. So you can see that with JavaScript objects, we can do a lot of things in our code or project. And we have different built-in object types. We have array, we have map, we have set, we have weak map, weak set, we have math, we have date object, we have regex, error, JSON, promise, integer 8 array, integer 16 array, integer 32 array, float 16 array, float 32 array, float 64 array, and big int 64 array. So depending on your need in your own project, that is what will determine the type of this data, this built-in object type that you need to suit your situation or scenarios.